Okay. Please stand and cover yourselves for the reading of our scriptures today. We read from Shemot, also known as Exodus, chapter 26. We'll read the entire chapter. It says, Ve'et hamishkan ta'aseh eser ye'riot shesh ma'shezar utechelet ve'argaman ve'tola'at shani ke'ruvim ma'aseh chosher ta'aseh otam. Orech ha'yiri'ah ha'achat shemone ve'esrim ba'ama ve'rochav arba ba'ama ha'yiri'ah ha'echat midah achat lechol ha'yiriot. Chamesh ha'yiriot tiye'an chovrot isha el achota ve'chamesh yeriot chovrot isha el achota ve'asita lulot techelet al sefat ha'yeriah אחת קצה בכל ברת השנית. 50 לולאות תעשה ביריע האחת, ו50 לולאות תעשה בזה היריע אשר במחברת השנית מקהילות הלולאות יישאל אחותה, קרסי זהב, וחיברת את האישה אל אחותה בקרסים, והיה המשכן אל האחד. ועשית יריות עזים לאוהל על המשכן אשתי יריות תעשה אותם. אורך היריעה האחת 30 באמה ורוחב 4 באמה. היריעה האחת מידה אחת לעשרה יריות. וחיברת את 5 יריות לבד ואת 6 היריות לבד, וכפלת את היריעה השישית אל מול פני האוהל. ועשית 50 לולאות על שפת היריעה האחת הכזינה בחוברת, ו50 לולאות על שפת היריעה החוברת השנית. ועשית קרסי נחושת 50, והבאת את הקרסים בלולאות, וחיברת את האוהל, והיה אחד. וסרח העודף בריות האוהל חזי היריעה העודפת תסרח על אחורי המשכן. והאמה מזה והאמה מזה בעודף באורך יריות האוהל יהיה סרוח על זידי המשכן מזה ומזה לכסותו. ועשית מכסה לאוהל אורות אלים מאדמים, ומכסה אורות תחשים מלמעלה. ועשית את הקרשים משכן זה שיטים עומדים. 10 אמות אורך הקרש ואמה וחצי האמה רוחב הקרש האחד. שתי ידות לקרש האחד משולבות, אישה אל אחותה כן תעשה לכל קרשי המשכן. ועשית את הקרשים למשכן 20 קרש לפאות נגבה תימנה. ו40 אדני כסף תעשה תחת 20 הקרש, שני אדני תחת הקרש האחד לשתי ידותיו, ושני אדני תחת הקרש האחד לשתי ידותיו. ולזלה המשכן השנית לפאות זפון 20 קרש, ו40 אדניהם כסף, שני אדני תחת הקרש האחד ושני אדני תחת הקרש האחד. ולירכתי המשכן ימה תעשה 6 קרשים, ושני קרשים תעשה למקוצאות המשכן בירכתיים, ויהיו תואמים מלמטה ויחדיו, יהיו תמים על ראשו אל הטבעות, האחד כן יהיה לשניהם, לשני המקצועות יהיו. והיו 8 קרשים ואדניהם כסף 16 אדני, שני אדני תחת הקרש האחד ושני אדני תחת הקרש האחד. ועשית בריחים זה שיטים 5 לקרשי זלה המשכן האחד, ו5 בריחים לקרשי זלה המשכן השנית, ו5 בריחים לקרשי זלה המשכן לירכתיים ימה. והבריח התיכון בתוך הקרשים, מה בריח מן הכזה אל הכזה. ואת הקרשים תזפה זהב, ואת טבעותיהם תעשה זהב בתים לבריחי, וזיפית את הבריחים זהב. והכמוזת את המשכן כמשפטו אשר הראית בחג. ועשית פרוכת תכלת וארגמן ותולעת שני, ו6 משזר מעשה חושב יעשה אותה כרובים. ונתת אותה על 4 עמודי שיטים מזופים זהב, והם זהב על 4 אדני כסף. ונתת את הפרוכת תחת הקרשים, והבאת שמה מבית לפרוכת את ארון העדות, והיא בדילה הפרוכת לכם בין הקודש ובין קודש הקודשים. ונתת את הכפורת al Aron ha'edut bekodesh ha'kodashim. Vesamta et hashulchan michutz laparochet ve'et ha'menorah nochach hashulchan al zelah hamishkan temana ve'hashulchan al titan zela zafon. Ve'asita masach lefetach ha'ohel techelet ba'argaman ve'tolaat shani ve'shesh ma'shezah ma'aseh roken. And finally, ve'asita la masach chanisa amudei shitim ve'zipita otam zahav va'vehem zahav ve'yazachta lahem chamisha adnei nechoshet. You may be seated. Oh boy. That's particularly hard to do when your voice is all wimped out on you. Look here. Okay. Where are we? Alright, let's get going. In his book, A Commentary on the Book of Exodus, Umberto Moshe David Casudo began his work on chapter 26, which is where we are today, with a discussion on the tabernacle and the Hebrew words Mishkan and Ohel. He wrote the following concerning tent construction of the biblical period, saying, and I quote, "We must consider the design of the tents and dwellings of the desert nomad, insofar as it is possible to study them from the pictures and reliefs that have been found in Egypt and in Mesopotamia, and from the pattern of the tents of the Bedouins in our day, which has preserved the essential features of the ancient tents. The Bedouin tents are constructed of a number of curtains, which are woven of thread spun from black goat's hair. The spinning and the weaving, as well as the sewing together of the curtains, are entrusted to the women. The men fix wooden pillars into the ground, on which they stretch the curtains, and in order to enable the tent to withstand all kinds of winds, they make the cords taut, which means they stretch them tight, tying one end to the top of the tent and the other to pegs and then that are driven into the ground. The area covered by the tent is rectangular in shape. The ancient pictures and reliefs provide us with similar information. The tent dedicated to the Lord was likewise made of curtains, and specifically of black goat's hair curtains. But these served only as an outer protection against rain and wind and dust and the sun's heat. Beneath these curtains, however, that is, within the tent, hung other curtains, graceful and decorative, the work of artists, like the maiden in the Song of Songs, who was black as the tents of Kedar, but comely as the curtains of Shlomo. He actually said Solomon. Even so was the sanctuary black without, or on the outside, like the tents of the Bedouins, but made beautiful and graceful by its curtains within, as benefits a royal dwelling place. So you get the picture, right? You got the black outer part, and then the interior is pretty, but it's all tent material. The pillars that supported the curtains were not crude branches of trees like those found in the tents of commoners, but were likewise, because he's talking about the tent of the Lord, if you'll recall. He's saying they weren't crude like the commoners, but were likewise artistically fashioned, of wooden boards overlaid with gold, set close to one another so as to form continuous walls, and fitted into heavy silver sockets. Its area was also rectangular in shape, but much wider and longer than the area of an ordinary tent, and it was surrounded by a court of fair dimensions. Onkelos by Drauzine and Wagner started the chapter off by pointing out that chapter 25 gave us the information on how to build the ark, and now 26 has given us information on the tent, how to build it. They felt that this order was wrong, since there would have been no tent in which to place the ark if, of course, the ark was built first. Of course, Rashbam wrote that the ark was more important than the tent, so it came first. However, he said he believed that the tent was built first, then the ark. You can take that for what it's worth. All right, so we begin with verse 1. Remember, we're in Shemot 26, or as it's known in the Western world, Exodus 26. This is verse 1. This is the literal English. Mishkan shall make 10 curtains linen from twisted and blue and purple and scarlet crimson. Cherubim do imagination shall make with them. So it starts off with be'et, which is and then there's a pointer. Ha-Mishkan, so and the Mishkan. Now, Mishkan is a habitation. It's a dwelling place, as of men and animals, i.e. a den. It's of God, or they say the temple of God, or the tabernacle. Especially a tent, a tabernacle, especially the holy tabernacle of the Jews. Generally, when they say Mishkan, they are talking about the tabernacle, the tent in the wilderness. They do use this word in other places, but for the most part, it is talking about the tabernacle in the wilderness. It's the most common use of the word. Then it says, ta'aseh. That is, you shall make. It's to labor, to work about, to make, to produce by labor, to manufacture, to fabricate. Remember that word. We get that word a lot, right? Because God's telling them to make stuff. So it comes up a lot in this area of the Bible. So they're being told to make a mishkan. This is eser, which is the word for 10, as in 10 fingers on your hands, right? The number 10, you know what that means. Then it says, riot. So you're going to make 10, well, that's the word for veil, in plural, right? So it's curtains, veils. It's the same word, if you build, because a veil is just a really small curtain. If it's a veil over a face. So it's the same word for veil as curtain. Then it says shesh. Shesh is a word that actually has two different meanings. It's the number 6 in Hebrew. But it means linen. It's something white. So they use white marble as an example. But it's fine linen. They even use this word for silk at times. But its material is so called from its whiteness. In other words, the word for linen comes from the idea of white. Anyway, then it says mashazar. And some people say this mashzar. It's either way, it's okay. I believe that in the biblical period they said mashazar. And nowadays the more modern way is mashzar, which is fine, it's just slurred. But anyway, it literally means from twisted, but it's to twist a thread from right to left or backhanded, to twist together several threads. But it's the twisting and the binding together of threads. And so from that, you take your threads and you twist them together very tightly. Then they call it fine threads. That's where we get the idea for the fine thread. That most people translate it as fine, but it's twisted, literally. Then it says, techelet. Well, that's in blue. But the word techelet it's a shellfish. It's a mussel found in the Mediterranean Sea. It was at one time thought to have been extinct. And many of the Jewish people would not wear the blue color in their zitziot. In the zitziot of the talit, they wouldn't do that back then because they didn't know what color it was. Well, here's the color because they found it. So some people don't wear the blue now just because it's become such a tradition to wear white, but God's word does tell us to wear the blue, so we wear the blue. We don't do it because we're Christians pretending to be Jews. We do it because the Bible says to. It's that simple with us. Anyway, so it's this mussel that's found in the Mediterranean. It makes the blue color. I believe that the word given, the name given to the mussel, because it produced a blue color, came after techelet. I believe that word for blue was used for blue before the mussel existed. This is important because if you believe that you can only get the blue from the muscle, then the word really means muscle. And the idea of the blue colorization comes later. I don't believe that's the way it worked. I think that they named the muscle by the color of dye that it gave off. Cobalt blue, almost a purple. Anyway, our next word is be'argaman, and that's the word for purple. It's a reddish purple, it's a deep, deep purple. It's a precious color obtained from some species of shellfish, same type of thing, found on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Then it says betolaat. That's scarlet, but that's actually the word for a worm, right? I think it's the same thing. The worm, because it gives off a scarlet dye, was named scarlet. You know what I'm saying? They use the word for that color and call that worm by that name. So anyway, it's a worm, especially one which springs from putrefaction. Ew. Those which devour plants, metaphorically used of a weak and despised man, especially scarlet color. I guess it's that idea, that scarlet letter and all that stuff. But anyway, it's a color. It's a deep reddish, purplish color. Then it says shani. That's crimson or deep scarlet, produced by certain insects, by Coccus ilicis. I don't know how to say that. I butcher Latin with the best of them. Which adheres together with its eggs to the leaves of the helix, crimson garments. Properly, it is bright color dye. So you've been given all these different colors. Then it says cherubim. Do you guys remember those? The cherub. This is cherub in plural. A creature with four faces: the face of a man, of a lion, of an eagle, and the face of an ox, right? In one place in Ezra, and then in another place, and this is the same guy in Ezra, says that it had the face of a cherub, a lion, an eagle, and an ox. Which is it? Don't know. But they're also a place where it says that they have four sets of wings, the body of a man, but feet like hooves of an ox. All of that can be found in Ezra, chapter 1, by the way. Anyway, so your next word is ma'aseh. So this is that noun of action. So it seems like a verb to people in America. Something that someone does. It's a deed. It's the work that men produce from their labor. A lot like that other word, right? But it says choshev. So this is a labor from your imagination. In other words, it's artistic. To think, to meditate. The primary idea seems to be that of computing and reckoning. And this is the word, by the way, they use for Abraham was faithful to God, so God choshev, he reckoned it to him for righteousness. It's that same word. But remember, in Hebrew, few words, lots of different meanings. Or in English, it's lots of words with little meaning. So it's the other way around. So they're using this for the idea of you're thinking it from your mind and you meditate on something and you come up with this. It's artisan. It's the work of an artisan. Literally, it's the work of a thinker is what's really being said there. Then it says ta'aseh. So from the work of your mind, you're going to make, to labor, to manufacture, to produce, to manufacture. You shall do this. So there's your word, that same word again. We've already had it in this same verse. Then it says otam, which means with them, literally. So your translation of verse 1, and you shall make 10 curtains from fine linen, or from twisted linen, right? Because twisted linen is fine linen. And then it says blue, purple, scarlet, and crimson. So it's basically all kind of the same colors, very close in the same color palette. Then it says cherubim. Now remember, those are the cherub things made from imagination. You shall make them. So they are from your imagination, you're going to make them. Now, of the words 10 curtains, Rashi wrote that the 10 curtains were the roof of the tabernacle and covered the boards. That's good. Of the words fine twisted linen, remember that's fine linen or twisted linen. You have to say one or the other. Rashi, pointing to the Babylonian Talmud, very specifically Yoma 71b, said that since the Hebrew word shesh, remember that means linen and it also means 6, he said we take the 4 colors times the number 6, producing a thread of 24 strands. And while that may sound crazy to some, or mystical and all that, Josephus said that the curtains in the holy place, remember, he was there in the time when the curtains were there. He saw them take them down, clean them, and put them back up. He said that they were as thick as the width of a man's hand. That's a pretty thick curtain, especially when you think about how tall and wide they are. That's pretty much what would have happened if Rashi and the Talmud are correct. Just throwing that out there. Of the words keruvim, made from the imagination, Cassuto said, woven together in such a way that the combination of the various colors in the fabric would produce the figures of the cherubim. The keruvim, if you want to say it right. Onkelos changed this word to design in his effort to show that the images of the cheruvim were not attached to the curtains, but were woven into the fabric by design. Now, Rashi, based on the Jerusalem Talmud, in Shekelim 4, here's shekel there? Shekel in plural, shekels. In Shekelim 4, wrote that the figures were a lion on one side and an eagle on the other. Now, I've always told it was lions and tigers and bears. Didn't find anything about that this week. Just saying. All right, verse 2. Literally in English it says, length, the curtain, the one, 8 and 20 in measure, and width 4 in measure, the curtain, the one, measure 1 to all the curtains. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but we'll work it out. This is orech. 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 Anyway, length. Ha-ye-ria. So the length of the curtain. A veil, a curtain, so-called from tremulous motion, waving in the wind. Especially of the tent, of the tabernacle, of the palace of Solomon. Then it's ha-achat, the one. It's the same. They use it as one man, in other words, together. It's in plural, it's joined in one, it's united. This is going to be important because it's going to help us understand what's being said here. Shemone, which is 8, be'esrim. Be'esrim is and 20, so it's 8 and 20. What's that? 28. Ba'ama in measure, so the 28 in measure. Always use metaphorical. Use at the beginning, it's used at the head, it's at the foundation, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so it's going to be 20 cubits in measure, 28 cubits in measure. Then it says the rochav, and the width, breadth, arba, 4, ba'ama in measure. Ha-yiria, the curtain, ha-echat, the one. Remember, that's the one that's the same, it's joined together, it's united. Midah, the one measure, achat, one. The one measure, the one. The same measure, the one. Lecho, to all. So all will have the one measure. Hayeh, riot, all of the curtains will have one measure. So here you go. The length of each curtain is 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain, 4 cubits. The same measure to all curtains. So what's happening here is the length of what it would say if I left it literal. It would have said the length of the one curtain is 28 cubits, and the length and the width of the one curtain 4 cubits. The one measure to all curtains. So it wouldn't have made sense to you, right? But what they're saying when they say the one, the length of the one, they're saying the length of each. The one means each. The length of each curtain is 28 cubits. And the width of each, the one, each curtain, 4 cubits. The same, the one, the same measure for all curtains. All of them have the same measurements. All right. The pseudo said, why these particular measurements are prescribed will become apparent later on. We're going to hold him to that. Probably won't get to that today, but they do come up later. So we've got time. Let's do verse 20, verse 3, rather. 22. Literally in English it says, 5 the curtains shall be them, unite woman to sister her, and 5 curtains unite woman to sister her. We're going to learn some Hebrew idioms today, aren't we? Chamesh, that's 5. Ha-ye-riot, that's curtain in plural. So 5 curtains, tiya'an. So the 5 curtains, they shall be what? They'll be something. Hov'rot, they shall be united. To bind together, to join together, to fasten together. So the 5 curtains will be fastened together. Well, 5 of the curtains. Remember, there's 10. So now it's saying 5 of them will be fastened together in some fashion. It's not told us yet, but they will be fastened together. Then it says Isha, that's woman or wife. If I introduce my Isha, I'm introducing my wife. So it's Isha El, which means 2. So Isha to Achata. Isha to her sister. Okay, so what does my wife to her sister have to do with 5 curtains being joined together? Well, if you want to say one to another in biblical Hebrew, you don't say Echad El Echad, which actually you do, there is a place or two where they do that. Echad El Echad, something like that. But generally speaking, normally they say wife to her sister, one to another. When they say man to his brother, one to another. They're just idioms, just Hebrew idioms. And God was speaking Hebrew to these people. He was using their idioms. All right, then it says Vechamesh and 5. So 5 of them are going to be joined one to another. Then it says Vechamesh and 5 yet riot, and 5 curtains, hov'rot, will be united. They will be bound together. They will be fastened together in some form, right? Isha El Achota, to her sister. So one to another. So your translation is real simple. 5 curtains joined together and 5 curtains joined together. Or more literally, 5 curtains joined woman to sister and 5 curtains joined to sister. Which doesn't make any sense, right? So we say 5 curtains joined together and 5 curtains joined together. So you've got 2 sets of 5. Rashi and Rashbam felt that the 2 sections were sewn together with a needle. Can you imagine sewing together these sections that are as thick, material as thick as a man's hand with a needle and thread? Man, that would be a job, wouldn't it? The pseudo said, it is not just the act of sewing that the Bible has in mind, but the result of it, namely, that every curtain accompanies the others, and the 5 remaining curtains shall also be coupled to one another. In this way, 2 sets of curtains would be formed, each one 28 cubits long and 20 cubits wide. Well, I knew when I said 28 that wasn't right. So it's 28 long, 20 wide. It would have been impractical to sew all 10 curtains together, because it would have been very difficult to move so heavy a weight from place to place and arrange it on the boards. The division into 2 halves made the work easier. The 2 sets could, without difficulty, be joined together temporarily by means of loops and clasps. Whenever the tabernacle was erected, and they could easily be detached by the removal of the clasp from the loops when the tabernacle was taken down. So it was for convenience sake and to make it portable. Verse 4, the literal English. And do you, loops violet, upon lip the curtain, the one from in junction, and thus shall make in lip the curtain the outermost her in seam the second. Well, this one was rough, but once I got through it, it's like, man, why was that so rough? But anyways, the asita, and literally it's and make you, or and do you. And it's the word properly, to labor, to work about, to make, to manufacture, to fabricate. It's that word. So he's telling them again, you're going to make something else. So what is it we're going to make here, God? Lul oat, loops. Lul oat, loops, in which hooks were put into the curtains of the Holy Tabernacle, so called from their being twisted round. Loops. You're going to make loops, people. Techelet, that's that violet word, the blue to almost purplish blue from the shellfish that I talked about. Then it says all, which is upon or over. So this is the outer covering. Over sifat, the lip. I'm going to make this, back to just let's narrow our scope here back to the curtain. On the lip of it. I'm going to make the loop on the lip, not the loop on the outside. Anyway, didn't mean to confuse you there. It's a lip, to open the lips, in other words, to begin to talk, to anyone's lips, to enable to speak. But really what they're talking about is the lip as the edge. It's the border, the lip of a cup, the lip of the lip of Florida. You think about it, the outer edge of it is called the lip, or the edge, or the border. They use it for the lip here. You follow what I'm saying? This whole edge here, this one here. That's what they're talking about. So remember, few words, lots of different meanings. And then it says ha-yeria, of the curtain. So you're going to put the loops on the lip of the curtain, on the edge of the curtain. Ha-echat, the one. Remember that, the one being, what did that wind up? The same? Yeah, the same, something is joined together. And it says mikatza, from the end, from the extremity. Well, it's going to have to be. But, okay, so you have this edge, right? You have this lip. And then out here is going to be one of the extremities. If I pull this all the way out, then the other extremities at the other end, right? So I could probably do it this way, from the edge to the extremity. You got it? So it's from the end, bajo varet. Well, that's joined together. That's the place of the union. So you're going to put, so that you can join them together, is what they're saying. Veched, and thus, ta'asa, which is you will make, you'll manufacture, you'll fabricate, blah, blah, blah. We've had that word a number of times already in these few verses. Be sifat, in the lip, ha-yeria, of the curtain, ha-kizona, the outermost. So it's from this one to the outermost. Boom, boom. And this is bamah beret, in the seam. So it's going to be, out here, it's wherever. I don't know a lot about sewing, but I guess the seam is up here somewhere, right? You're talking to the wrong guy when it comes to sewing. So this is the inseam, the joining, properly the place where one thing is joined to another. In other words, of the curtains, of the different parts of the ephod, they have the same type of thing. Ha-shemit, the second. So it's so that you can join this one to the next one. Translation. You will make loops of blue on the edge of the curtain, one at the end of the junction, and likewise you will make the edge of the curtain on the outermost seam of the second. You get the idea. If you're going to put two edges together, you need loops here, okay, so that you can hook the two loops together. Y'all see? I don't know if y'all see that. Maybe I should do it this way. See the edges? So if you put two loops right here and pull it together, then you can hook these two loops together. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. All right, we've got enough time. We'll go on to the next one. 50, this is 5, and literally it says 50 loops shall make in curtain the one, and 50 loops shall make in the curtain that inseam the second, from taking the loops woman to sisterhood. So you can already just almost know by what it's already been said what's being said here. Hamishim, so that's 50. Mu laot, so that's mu in plural, it's the loops in plural. So it's going to make 50 of these loops. Ta'aseh, so you're going to make them. Produce a manufacturer, blah, blah, blah. You're going to make 50 loops. Ba-ye-ria, in the curtain, in each curtain. Ha-echat, the one, so it's in each of the curtains. Va-hamishim, and 50 lulaot, those are your loops, and 50 loops you will make ta'asah, manufacture, fabricate. You'll make bitzeh, in the end, that's the far extremity, ha-ye-ria, of the curtain, asher, which means that, T-H-A-T, ba-mach-beret, in the seam. Remember, it's where this stuff folds over and they sew it together at the seam. So this outer edge of these things, you're going to have these things. Think of a tarp. You get a tarp from the store and it has those circles in them, the rings. This is exactly what's being described here, except they're not saying put it all the way around all four. It's just saying up and down the two long sides, so that it can be fastened to the next one. Ha-shenit, so it's joining to the second. Maked bilot, from, it means against. So it's you take the one over here and the one over here, and they're against each other. So your holes are here, your holes are here, you put them against each other, then your holes line up and you can tie them together. Or in this case, put a clasp in there to hold them. Then it says ha-lulaot, which is the loops. Isha, which means woman. El, which means to. Achata, to her sister. So it's one to another. Translation. You shall make 50 loops in each. Remember the one? You will make 50 loops in each curtain. And you shall make 50 loops in the edge of each curtain, such that the seams of the second set of loops join together. That's the woman to sister, so that they join together. Rashi said the loops were directly opposite of each other so that they could be joined by the clasp. I have to agree with that. They could either be offset, like put the two together and going bang, 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 but that would be more like putting a string through it, going side to side. And they're not using strings, they're using clasp. And if you're using a clasp, if it's a round clasp that's going to hook them together, you're going to want those holes to be directly across from each other like a tarp, so that you can put the clasp, hold those things together. All right, verse 6. Literally in English, and do you 50 hooks gold and join you, the curtains, woman to sister her, in hooks, and be Mishkan one. This ends up with something interesting. Ve'asita, and you will make, labor, produce, fabricate. So you're going to make something else. Chamishim, 50 of them. Kar say, going to make 50 hooks. Properly, this means curve. a joint, a hook, into which a little hook is put. A hook into which a little hook is put. Zahav, that's your word for gold. So you're going to make these hooks out of gold. Vehi barta, and bind them, join them together with the gold hooks. It says et ha ye riot. So you're going to join the curtains together with the gold hooks. Then it says Isha el achata. So one, together, or one to another. One to another is the way you'll normally read it. I like the word together a little better. It means the same thing, right? You join one to another, you join together. You follow? Then it says ba ke rasim, in the hooks. Vahaya, and B, they will be ha mishkan, and the mishkan, that's the tabernacle, will be echad. It will be one. Let me say something about that. There was some argument among the sages about they had to get into mysticism. Even guys who were not into mysticism had to get into mysticism to try to explain how the tabernacle would be one. Okay, listen, it's real simple. It's funny that these guys who have never built anything in their life try to explain this when they're not builders and they don't understand it. But when you start building a building, you start by preparing the ground. And let's talk about the building that we're currently building. We prepared the ground, and then we laid down the stone, the blocks in our case, raised them up, and then we laid down the floor, the sticks that make the floor, and then we put the plywood down. Then you got the sticks that go up that make the wall. You build those and you lift them up, fasten them into place, and then you put the sticks that go across that make the ceiling, right? Now, all of those things are separate individual pieces. Then you take the plywood and you wrap the outside, or maybe you take metal and you wrap the outside, or maybe you take those wooden slats like they put on the older siding, wood siding on the outside. It doesn't make any difference. You put some type of siding on the outside of it, and you put the shingles on the top of it. All of these different things. The 10 curtains, 5 of them sewn together, 5 of them sewn together. They're made of 4 different types, 4 different colors. And all these strands are woven together, and then they're sewn together, and then they got loops in them, and then they got all blah, 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 blah. Then you put it all together, and the mishkan is one. So when we put all that plywood on the outside of that, and then we wrap it with the plastic wrap, and then we put that black tar paper stuff on the top, and then we wrap that with metal on the outside, then that building is one. It is monolithic. That's all God's saying. Is once you get all of this stuff put together, and you get the wood put together, and all of this stuff, you put it all together, then it's monolithic. It's one building. That's all that's being said. So your translation of verse 6, you shall make 50 hooks of gold. You will join the curtains together with hooks, and they will be one mishkan. It'll all be just one beautiful thing. Right? I'm pretty sure that's all he meant by that. So I'm going to push for one more. Let's see if we can get one more today. Literally, verse 7 in English would say, and do you, now there you go with the make thing, curtains, she-goats, to tent, upon Mishkan 11 curtains shall make with them. All right, so it starts off ba'asita, that's that asa, to make, to labor, to produce, to manufacture, to fabricate. So you're going to make something else. And it says, riot, curtains. So you're going to make 10 curtains. Now he's going to tell you what to make them out of. Izim, out of she-goats. Now everybody else says goat's hair. Now, you could say that in Hebrew, when it says the word for goats, they only mean goat's hair. Okay, I think there's 2 possibilities here. I think that you could take the goats, you could slaughter the goats and have lots to eat, and then you take that skin and the leather, I guess that would be leather, wouldn't it? On a goat, called the leather itself, goat's hair. Okay, so you can take that, you leave the fuzzy fur on it, and you can make the whole thing out of those really heavy skins, right? So all those skins together and make something real heavy. Or you can shave the hair off and leave the goat out there to freeze. And hopefully you do this in the summer so it doesn't have to freeze because he has nothing to keep him warm. But you can take all that hair off and then have to try to bind all of that up and make thread. Over the years, people have come to believe that it's the thread. I'm not so convinced of that. I think that it was just the skin with the hair on it. Either way, it would have been black. Remember that what we read earlier about it being black in Kedalim? All right, so you take either the hair off of the goats or you take the skins off the goats. Then it says "La ohel," to the tent. It's the tabernacle that's in the wilderness. That the word for that is ohel. This is upon which, in this case, we're talking about over. It's the stuff. It's the outer layer. Hamishkan. So it's now it's said tent. Now it's calling the tent of the habitation, tent of the dwelling, the tent of meetings, right? Hamishkan. Ashtay. Now there's 11 Eshrei. So Ashtay Eshrei, it's literally 11 teens. So it's 11. Yeah, Rio. So 11 curtains. Ta'asesh you shall make. So if you remember, you had the 10 curtains there got the outside. You remember Castuno talking about the inner curtains that are pretty. Now you've got, well, the 10 may have been the inside. I may be confused here. The 10 may be the inside, the 11 the outside, or it could be the other way around. We'll figure it out as we go, I promise. So anyway, you're making a set of 10. You've already got that set up, and now he's telling you what to make 11 of them out of. So this is a different set of curtains, if you will. You're going to make this separate set of either the fur or the lamb itself, and then it's otam with them. So your translation, you shall make 11 curtains of goats, hair or goats, skin, to be a tent over the Mishkan. The pseudo said, the number of the tent curtains is one more than the curtains of the tabernacle. The reason for this will become apparent later. Rashi believed that the curtains were constructed such that the spaces between the loops allowed them to be joined together when laid side by side, which we already spoke of. We have truly run out of time. I can't get any further than that today, so we'll call that a day. Shalom, shalom, y'all.